and John McSweeney, and the referee is Norm Budden. 12 rounds of boxing for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, in the red corner, from Newark, New Jersey, he's wearing black trunks trimmed in gold. He weighs in at 137 pounds even, 13 big wins in his 15 fights. Your challenger, classy Clarence Coleman. And his opponent, the champion in the blue corner, from Corpus Christi, Texas. He's wearing gold trunks with blue trim. He weighs in at 130 pounds, 17 big knockouts in his 25 wins. Here he is, the USBA Junior Welterweight Champion, Frankie Panchito Warren.
Go get it done. You received your instructions in the dressing room. At this time, are there any questions? To remind you, protect yourselves at all times. Good luck.
So Norm Budden with the final instructions. Capacity crowd getting ready for this USBA Junior Welterweight Championship scheduled for 12. Frankie Panchito Warren, the champ, against the challenger, classy Clarence Coleman. There is Coleman right there out of Newark, New Jersey, 13-1-1 with 3 knockouts. He expects Warren to come at him in the early rounds and go for the knockout, but he says he will jab Warren to the end. Warren is a relentless body shot artist, likes to bob and weave, known for his punching power, and he can punish people on the inside.
He's a little hard to hit coming in, and he is relentless to the body.
Coleman is listed as a southpaw, but right now he is fighting conventional.
And his plans to jab away went out the window right at the beginning of this fight because Warren just came under it. Right now, he's putting it into effect as Clarence Coleman. And, of course, that jab is what Buddy McGirt did to Frankie Warren and caused him to lose decisively. Held him off at the end of that jab, as Clarence Coleman is doing here.
Warren claims he had an inner ear infection which affected his balance and caused him to be weak against McGirt. Incidentally, he lost that fight in his hometown of Corpus Christi, Texas, and he didn't tell anybody about the ear problem, so it wouldn't affect his training schedule, but it came back to haunt him during the fight.
Well, a middle ear infection is a serious thing. It does totally affect your balance and your ability to have any kind of athletic ability. And of course, I don't think that's an excuse that you can really get away with. When you lose, you lose. Buddy McGirt beat him soundly that day.
He lost a TKO to James Buddy McGirt in the 11th round for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. Past the midway point in round number 1, we are scheduled for 12. Frankie Panchito Warren is wearing the gold trunks with the blue trim. Classy Clarence Coleman is wearing the black trunks with the gold trim. And really an amazing story. Just a few days before his only defeat to a fighter named Mike Peoples, Coleman had an incredible experience. A few days before the fight, he was driving to see his 3 children who don't live with him in a town in New Jersey. As he approached the house, he saw smoke and fire engines. He saw his kids being thrown out the windows of the house. Terrible ordeal. His children, fortunately, are okay, but he went into that Peoples fight with that in mind. It really affected him, and it was his first and only loss as a pro.
Well, that's about as good an excuse as middle ear infection. That's the longest excuse I think I've ever heard, Steve.
It took him a long time to explain it. It really did. But can you imagine seeing your kid's house on fire and watching as your children being thrown out the window?
Listen, I can't even imagine having a middle ear infection and having to fight Buddy McGirt, much less the rest.
Yeah, so 2 fighters here with intriguing stories in recent fights. Final seconds, round 1. We'll follow classy Clarence Coleman back into his corner. Haywood Thompson, John Taylor, and Leroy Swain are his corner team.
If I get more and set him up. Yeah? More than jab and set him up. when you set him up.
You ain't got to worry about that. You're going to weigh him down, too, because you're going to miss it ahead, right?
Right. And Luduva talking to Frankie Warren.
Okay? Right. Keep the pressure on it. Okay. And you slack off him a little bit.
That's George Benton.
Don't hang back. Just keep pushing forward. Not fast. Just push forward. Make it run. Make it run. Just keep the jab going. Right? All right. And about 3 rounds, he's going to slow down.
Snap him, baby. Snap him, right?
Hands up good.
Round 2 scheduled for 12. Frankie Warren in the gold. Clarence Coleman in the black trunks. As we said earlier, Coleman sparring with IBF junior welterweight champ Buddy McGirt, the man who beat Warren on Valentine's Day, February the 14th. He says that McGirt taught him how to move his head. He learned that he should constantly move against Frankie Warren. Not bad advice.
Well, the jab is the best advice McGirt gave him, and that jab won him a very close first round. Unofficially on my card, Frankie still doesn't look like the old Frankie. He doesn't have the fire. He's not rushing in. His corner doesn't seem worried. They just said, keep the pressure on him. He'll start to slow down in about 3 rounds, and he's yours. So there's no apparent concerns very early in the fight, but Frankie does not look like Frankie Warren of old to me just yet.
He told us he has never seen Coleman fight.
Much better jabs, outboxing Frankie, who is relatively still compared to the perpetual motion machine we're used to. And what happens to these guys that are used to taking a lot of punishment coming in is one day they wear out. And it just may be that Frankie's on that cusp of wearing out. He hasn't got that ability to get started again as he had in previous fights. He has not gotten himself in gear. He's still in neutral here.
Warren's a veteran, 29 years of age. Coleman's 6 years younger. Past the midway point, round 2. This is the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship fight here on Showtime.
There was a good example of the new Frankie Warren as opposed to the old. He got inside where he would have popped 4, 5, 6, 7 punches. He just put in 2 slight punches and let him go.
And Coleman with a flurry.
Coleman's living up to his reputation of being classy. That's written on either side of his trunks.
He said he picked up that nickname as an amateur. He was 72-9 as an amateur, won the New Jersey Diamond Gloves, the New Jersey Police Athletic League, and the Sugar Ray Leonard Golden Gloves titles back in '82.
Well, he doesn't have the experience, nor apparently does he have a knockout punch. Out of 15 fights, he's only knocked out 3 people, but he is classy. He's outboxing Frankie Warren. He's certainly not letting Frankie get started or even warmed up. In this intense heat, he still has not broken out in any kind of a sweat as Frankie Warren. Look at him, he's perfectly dry.
It's about 100 degrees. They say it could reach upwards of 125 on the canvas, but thank goodness the sun is going down, so that helps the fighter's cause.
I think somebody better rub some chili. Oh, nice right hand by Frankie Warren. Just when I was getting ready to say something derogatory about him, he landed a beautiful right hand on the side of classy Clarence Coleman.
As we close down round 2. Well, this outdoor facility on the grounds of Caesars Tahoe is located near the shore of spectacular Lake Tahoe. The site is just breathtaking. Lake Tahoe, the largest alpine lake in North America. There's somebody having some fun. Give you an idea how big this lake is. It contains enough water to cover the state of Texas with 8.5 inches, and California to a depth of 14 inches. You're looking at 40 trillion gallons of water. Now you're looking at Luduva.
At 1/4 water.
I don't want to say
And 340 pounds of fighting mean Luduva. Did you check all those figures out before we said that, Steve? I don't want to give all of that out.
Crip notes on my wrist.
Oh, you got those crib notes, right?
Here's some of the action from the last round.
Look at Frankie looking at his corner saying, I know, but I can't do any better. Well, on my card, quite unofficially, Clarence Coleman is sneaking by. That's the second round he's taken by good boxing, good jabbing, keeping away from Frankie and just not letting him get started. Somewhere along here, Frankie better get in gear again.
Round 3 scheduled for 12, the USBA Junior Welterweight title. At stake for Frankie Panchito Warren in the gold, classy Clarence Coleman in the black trunks. Coleman, I asked him what he'd be taking advantage of when he gets into the ring tonight. And he immediately said Warren's legs. He said he noticed through tapes and watching him live that Warren's legs buckle after a good punch, and says that Warren drops his left. So we'll see how that transpires.
I think the fight he was looking at was a McGirt fight, where McGirt had a lot to do with his legs going out from under because he was pummeling him on the way in. He had no balance, possibly because of that middle ear infection, and he did look awful. And that's led a lot of people to believe that Frankie was shot. And that's what we're trying to see today. Is it?
So Coleman hanging tough here against Frankie Panchito Warren, who, as Bertie has pointed out, does not look like the vintage Panchito Warren.
That's the first hard punch he looks like that he threw like the old Frankie Warren. Also, we have another problem. He has swells around the eyes. He's got a deep cut in the middle of his forehead, which didn't look like it was totally well. It looked like he could burst open. Of course, all those repetitive jabs will swell up all the tissue around the eyes of Frankie, and pretty soon he will have danger of cuts or swollen. Already they look swollen. Both eyes look like they're starting to swell on Frankie Warren.
Warren in the gold, Coleman in the black. Coleman, the challenger, feels he has earned a shot at Warren's title with consecutive wins over Victor Davis, Donnie Parker, previously unbeaten Henry Hughes, and veteran Eduardo Valdez.
Clarence has gotten his first 2 rounds, and he's starting to fight with his mouth wide open, almost gasping for breath. Could be the altitude. It could be just that he's getting tired, because he's put on a good exhibition the first 2 rounds. Frankie has been resting.
Coming up, Evander Holyfield and James Quick Tillis. Evander Holyfield in his heavyweight debut. Should be very interesting. So hope you stay with us. Under 30 seconds, round 3.
Frankie Warren starting to punch with authority. They've butted heads. And Frankie Warren has rubbed his eye.
Final seconds, round 3. And we'll follow Warren back to his corner and check out the eye situation. Cutman Ace Barretta.
That little nick on his cut, that little nick on his eye that we talked about is just starting to come open. There's the end swell, a piece of ice, a piece of steel that's kept in ice so that the effect of that intense cold doesn't allow the eye to swell. It's a very good weapon. Now comes the Vaseline with a little bit of adrenaline in it to stop the bleeding. But you will notice that cut right in the middle of his forehead. You see a nice black-looking cut. That's what's the danger. This one is just beginning to open up here. So, the look for and expected difficulty of eye problems crop up in the 3rd round, which Frankie won for the first time by stepping up the attack. Now let's see what he does with danger lurking with cuts around the eyes.
And round 4 scheduled for 12. Got to be a lot of concern in that Warren corner with the cut around the left eye. And let's see if classy Clarence Coleman can take advantage.
Well, certainly he's caused it with that repetitive jab that's been landing. No effort on Frankie's part to block it or to counter it.
Coleman has lived up to his game plan thus far. He said he would jab Warren to the end. And so far it's paying off. Right uppercut was blocked by Warren.
He's been boxing very well, his classy Clarence. He doesn't look intimidated. He does look a little bit weary in that he's fighting with his mouth wide open. I mean, boy, what a way to pop a jaw.
But he's hanging on to that mouthpiece by a hair.
It's a long way to go when you're going backwards and running as hard as Clarence is. And, of course, that was the game plan, to wear him out in the first 5 or 6 rounds and then to step up the action. I think they stepped up a little bit quicker because of the cut eye.
Warren getting off to a slow start, but seems to be waiting for his moment. Patient. Meanwhile, Coleman continues to flick the jab. Warren in the gold, Coleman in the black.
Frankie Warren's punches are so wide that they're ineffective by the time that they land. It's not the sharp, short, inside punching that we've been used to looking at from Frankie Warren. He's lost the spark.
Warren with a body shot, but it was repelled by Coleman.
The other thing is, if Warren punches with the authority that he can to the body, Classy Clarence has a very thin frame. Almost pathetic legs.
Really letting loose with that left hand, Ferdy. Doubling up and tripling up.
He has to. It's the only way to keep up. Oh, that was a low blow to the booty, as they say.
And Coleman just smiles it off. Both very affable, likable guys as we talked to them over the last few days. Wouldn't want to be in the ring with either one of them, but they're nice to talk to. Warren claimed the USBA junior welterweight title with a 12-round decision over Ronnie Shields back in '86. Defended once against Ozzie O'Neill, also in '86. Interestingly, Shields is now one of his best friends. That was a brutal war they had, and now they're like the best of friends. And Shields has become a trainer in Lou Duba's stable. He'll be working in Holyfield's corner, and he also works with Warren now.
The cut has not opened up. Antito's Frankie Warren has really stepped up the action. He's taken this round because he has gotten into gear again. His punches are not crisp and effective as they have been, but he has overwhelmed Classy Clarence by the sheer number.
And that is it, Ferdy, for round number 4. As we follow Clarence Coleman back to his corner, he waits for that stool to get up right. Rated number 13 by the USBA.
That's what he wants. Stay off him. Stay off the rope. That's what he wants. Walk around out the center.
And now Frankie Warren, as you take a good look at that left eye. Let's take a look at the unofficial score sheet of Ferdy Pacheco.
So they're right up neck and neck, 38-38. First 2 rounds, of course, to Coleman with a brilliant exhibition of jabbing and running, and now Warren with a little bit of more fuel because of the cut has stepped up the action. I hasten to remind you it's quite unofficial. There are 3 competent judges here, and it's only my opinion.
Round 5 scheduled for 12. The USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Frankie Panchito Warren looking to get going in the gold against Classy Clarence Coleman, who has more than held his own. He's wearing the black trunks. The official scoring, of course, on the 10-point mush system. 3 judges and a non-scoring ref. 10 points to the winner, 9 or less points to the loser. There's a flicking left jab by Coleman that made contact.
Frankie keeps his right hand right under his chin. No attempt to block anything. No attempt to have it high to block a hook or to even move it when Clarence jabs. And therefore, every jab lands. He's just cocked it. And it's a threatening weapon rather than a blocking weapon.
And that jab by Coleman continues to bother Warren. Here's a combination by Warren, but didn't do much damage.
So far, Frankie Warren has contented himself with a body attack, has not gone to the head much. One of these rounds, he's going to start switching and going up and catch Classy Clarence by surprise because everything has been a body attack.
Combination, that one made impact. Combination by Warren, and the fire beginning to burn slowly here for Frankie Warren. Midway point, round 5 and beyond.
That oh so thin body of Classy Clarence Coleman taking the pounding from short, stubby Frank Warren, and it isn't going to last long before he comes down off his horse. He's not running around anymore like he is. He's going very slowly as Clarence, and that's what happens with body shots.
Coleman with a 6.5-inch height advantage over Warren, and as you point out, very thin, and he's got those spindly legs.
In there, your hands are open.
Yeah, and once you get those body shots to the side, you sort of dismount off your horse and decide to fight along the ropes, as is happening to him now. And of course, that's Frankie Warren's fight. There he goes to the head. Frankie Warren's now starting to go to the head.
And a right by Warren got through. And it snapped Coleman's head back in that flurry. So Warren beginning to gain steam, pressing the attack and trying to dictate the pace. Less than 30 seconds, round 5, scheduled for 12.
And remember, Frankie Warren comes at you like a linebacker. If he misses you with a punch, he hits you with a shoulder, with his head. So Clarence Coleman has got the weight, the entire weight of little Frankie Warren on him at all times.
Warren continues to punish Coleman on the inside. And Coleman just cannot spin out of trouble. And that is it for round 5. Best round of the night by far by this man, Frankie Warren.
But jab him when you walk to him with the jab. No, that's the way. That's the way to handle it.
Here's some of these combinations as Frankie decides to go body, head. Up to this point, it's been body, body, body. And this round, he should step up the action to the head as he pins him to the ropes. That's Frankie Warren's fight right there. If that remains that way, then poor, classy Clarence Coleman has got a long and painful night ahead of him.
He's good.
And here is Coleman.
Get shot together. You understand?
Big crowd on hand. Gorgeous evening here in Lake Tahoe. Capacity is 5,000 in this outdoor facility. At round 6, it is scheduled for 12. This USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. United States Boxing Association. Clarence Coleman in the black trunks. Frankie Warren in the gold. Let's see if Warren can pick up where he left off his best round.
Warren's cut has been slowly opening. They've been doing an excellent job in the corner, but every time he comes out, it looks bigger and bigger.
Ace Barada, his cut man, one of the best in the business. His son, Jim, is the ring announcer, so it's all in the family tonight.
And a ring announcer you don't want to challenge because he's also a licensed attorney.
That's right. Back in the New Jersey area.
We're getting classy in boxing.
Trying to dig to the ribs of Coleman. That time Coleman able to race out of trouble.
Of course, Warren's style is dictated by his size. When you're that little, you're not going to find many fighters smaller than you are. So you have practice with guys that, oh, nice shot by Warren right on the chin of Clarence. He smiles a little painfully, and back comes Frank.
This is a significant fight as the blood comes out of the left eye area of Frankie Warren. It's a significant fight for Warren because he comes off a very discouraging loss to IBF champion Buddy McGirt in his own hometown. Actually, that was 2 fights ago. He scored a first-round knockout over Efren Nieves back on June 12th. But the one that really sticks in his gut is the loss to Buddy McGirt. So he'd like to bounce back, defend his title for the second time, and dominate, really, from here on in over Clarence Coleman.
The eye, which, as I pointed out at the beginning of this round, has begun to open up more and more, is now spouting blood, and the whole side of his face is spattered with droplets of blood. Ace Murata is going to have his work cut out for him. More important than that, Frankie Warren has got to step up this action.
Well, we saw another great cut man make a big difference recently in the Barkley Hearns affair for the middleweight championship. That was Eddie Aliano, who saved the night for Iran Barkley.
Clarence back with a nice volley, a nice round of 4, 5, 6 punches. And while it's not a one-way licking, Frankie has been taking these rounds, but somebody's putting that damage on the eye, and I suspect classy Clarence Coleman has been doing his homework on the eye.
Seconds ticking away in round 6. A wild roundhouse right by Warren.
Warren's lack of balance again indicated. A nice right hand by Warren. He's stepping up the action.
And that'll do it for round 6, but Warren finishes strong. Let's hear what they have to say to Frankie.
Keep that jab going. Keep that jab going. You understand? Yeah. Just keep on top of him, right? Right. Now your defense is beautiful. Hold his hand. Move your head from the jab. Hey, move your head. I'm not going to George got it. Stay right on top of him. This guy's bad. Now quit swinging at his head. Good job. Swing at his shoulder. Swing at his shoulder. You knock him out. You understand? Come on now. Now don't swing at the guy's head. Why you keep swinging at his head? All right? There we go. Now don't swing at his head no more with that damn overhand right.
Evander Holyfield, last-second preparations as he is getting set for his heavyweight debut against the fighting cowboy James Quick Tillis, a 10-round heavyweight fight. Holyfield, the undisputed world cruiserweight champ, stepping up to the heavyweight division for the first time tonight, and it will be coming up after this fight. Round 7, scheduled for 12, the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Perhaps you could make out what George Benton was saying to Panchito Warren. Use the jab more and move your head.
One of the things I didn't understand, he said, is what are you slapping to his head for? Don't go for his head. Go for his gloves. Go for his chest. Georgie Benton likes the punches to land someplace. And, of course, you can't knock a guy out by hitting his gloves or hitting his sternum. So I didn't understand that instruction too well.
Also in that corner is veteran trainer and former fighter Bobby Garza. Fought 20 years as a pro, so they've got a lot of experience in that corner between Duva, Benton, Garza, and Murata. Whoa, what a right by Warren. A ferocious right that landed.
And knocked the mouthpiece out into about the 3rd row. Clarence is now fighting without benefit of mouthpiece.
And it's pretty early in the 7th round. And now Warren perhaps sensing what he can do. Coleman minus the mouthpiece.
And as these rounds tick away, the cut gets bigger and bigger. In spite of expert patchwork by Ace Murata, when you keep getting it popped, there's no therapeutic benefit to those jabs uncut.
Coleman shakes his head and smiles as if to say, you're not doing any damage. Midway point, round 7. But that usually means you are. That's just a ploy.
Well, the fight is being dictated totally by the aggressiveness of Frank Warren now. And the defensive skills which were gaining him points at the beginning of the fight, there's a nice flurry by Clarence, have vanished, so that these rounds are relentlessly going to Frankie Warren, chasing, landing the big punches.
Warren, it seems, would love to get Coleman on the inside and just pound away to the body.
And you notice that Clarence is not up on his toes anymore. He is flat-footed. As he moves wearily.
Combination of the heat, the altitude, and the man in front of him.
I think in the reverse order.
Not necessarily that order. Under 30 seconds, round 7. Scheduled for 12. Warren in the goal, looking to pummel Coleman, but Coleman just holding on now. A short, crisp left there by Warren.
And not too much zing in Warren's punches even now. I mean, the majority of them are landing, but with no zip, no brillo, and not doing the damage he was doing a few rounds ago. Oh, nice hard uppercut to the body by Frankie Warren.
Suddenly, Freddie Coleman looking exhausted as round 7. His history. And Clarence Coleman just looking for a seat. Check out the shot that dislodged the mouthpiece.
And that is what you call a roundhouse right.
A bomb.
A bomb or another look at it for another view. Keep your eye glued to his mouth and you will see a mouthpiece fly. And there it goes, right into the, you see it on the right side, into the audience. A lady fainted, fell right in her lap. As
we pan to the beautiful Lake Tahoe, the water, incidentally, is so clear out beyond the trees there. As legend has it, a white dinner plate can be seen at the depth of 200 feet. As a matter of fact, Ferdy, you dove down and put that plate there yourself just to prove it.
Where do you get this stuff from? The National Geographic? Who gives you all these things? 200 feet, huh? With the food on it or just a plate without the food?
My brother Marv stopped by, gave me these notes.
In revenge.
All right, round 8, scheduled for 12, the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. In command is the man in gold, Frankie Panchito Warren. Took a little time to get jump-started, but now he has dictated the tempo. Clarence Coleman in the black looked really tired towards the end of round 7. Let's see if he can get some fuel back.
I think he needed his mouthpiece to be complete. Now he started out like he started the first 2 rounds, bouncing around and throwing a jab and doing some defensive skills. If he could keep this up for 3 minutes, he could win a round for a change. He must have rested somewhere along the line where he didn't observe, because he certainly looked tired and defeated at the end of the last round.
And you pointed out that he was totally flat-footed in the 7th round. He's back up on his toes again.
He certainly is bouncy.
We'll see if that has any effect on Warren. Doesn't seem to be phasing Warren a bit.
Look where Warren's left hand is. It could be sewed to his trunks. Talk about a guy that's got a left hand held low. There's a lot of fighters fought that way. Jersey Joe Walcott, Kenny Norton, and what they did was they effectively tucked their jaw into their shoulder. They're fighting and giving you a lot of head movement, so the left hand really doesn't have to be held up. Right now they're just waltzing.
Little fire plug. Frankie Warren at 5'2½", Coleman at 5'9", and a heavy left by Warren.
Well, when you run, you got to stop sooner or later.
Coleman caught a little off balance there. Warren with confidence all of a sudden, knowing he is on top of the situation. Those little pitter-patter jabs by Coleman not having any effect.
And Duva's hollering, punch up.
Again, Coleman with his mouth wide open. Final seconds, round 8. It is scheduled for 12. The USBA junior welterweight title fight. That has been owned to this point by the man of the gold, Frankie Warren. Except for the first few rounds, which were uneventful. And that is it for round 8. Well, the breathtaking views from the area surrounding this nifty outdoor facility on the grounds of Caesars Tahoe. It also includes the Playboy Girls of Rock and Roll. And watch this transition. We go from this to Wally Matthews for his observations thus far. Wally?
Okay, I've got Warren ahead by 2 points here. I think he's coming on, and basically because Coleman's lack of punching power is starting to betray him. Warren's able to get closer than he was earlier. He's hitting to the body. It's obvious Coleman's running out of steam, and I don't think the fight will go more than 10 or 11 rounds.
All right, thank you very much, Wally.
Okay, back to you, Steve.
We look into the face of Frankie Warren.
Be surprised if they let Frankie Warren start the fight with that much grease on his face, but they do.
Round 9, it is scheduled for 12.
Clarence taking big gasps of air as the fight starts, like almost a thigh. Oh, a very low blow to Frankie Warren by classic Clarence Coleman.
Well, 2 points here. It looks like number 1, the cut has been controlled by Ace Murata. Number 2, Coleman has come out charging here in round 9.
I think you heard Wally's interview where he said he's ahead by 2 points, and Wally's made him brave.
Ooh, a low blow by Coleman. And that, another one. Norm Button looking in, but doesn't warn Coleman.
Let's go. Come on, step back.
How do you see this as compared to how Wally saw it?
I think he's ahead by 4 points, but I think that the aggression of Frankie Warren and the lack of aggression on the part of Clarence and the fact that he's been getting hammered so readily has him ahead by 4 points. Judges could see it a lot closer. Could be 3, could be 2. I don't think the quality of the fight is superior, however, because one man is clearly the aggressor. The other man, except for this round where he's fighting a little bit now, has just been willing to take his lumps. Another
low blow. That was an obvious low blow by Coleman. That was near the knees. Less than a minute 30 remaining, round 9. There's a right by Warren that landed. And back goes Warren right to the body. And Coleman looks tired again. He had that little surge of energy at the beginning of round 9, and now he's reverting. Flat-footed again. Doubling up is Warren to the face of Coleman, and Warren opens up here in round 9. Looking to unleash a blistering attack. There was a sharp shot by Warren.
Those are big punches by Frankie Warren. Some landing, some not, but now Clarence is laughing at him, indicating he's hurt a little bit.
Come on, work in there. Let's
Now
go.
they're just looking to hold on. 30 seconds and counting, round 9. The accumulation of punches has to be wearing Coleman down now.
Don't hold him, Coleman. Come on, don't hold.
And those punches by Warren with a lot of zest.
And they build points. They just keep landing on the sides or anything. That's Georgie Benton's attitude. Keep landing. Make those points come your way.
That is it for round 9. We'll follow Frankie Panchita Warren and listen to Lou Dubin.
Beautiful out there, baby. Beautiful. Okay? Let's go bring that towel. Come on, go ahead. Come on. Here, right here, right here. Okay. How you feel? Come on. Okay, now look. Frank, this guy's looking for a spot. Understand? He's just going nice and easy. You got to put pressure on this guy with 2 hands. Okay? Go with that jab, but as soon as you hit with that jab, come back with the right hand and left hook. Right? Don't leave it out there by itself. Okay? Heads around, Frankie. Come on now. Let him go. Let him go. Come on.
Dub obviously pleased with the performance of Warren, saying you're doing beautifully, and check out the low blow.
Ooh. You know, even when you get a warning, you're still hurt. I mean, it's not like that erases the warning. The warning doesn't erase the pain.
seconds down.
We have reached double figures. Round 10 scheduled for 12 for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship.
Again, credit where credit is due. While the cut continues to open, it is not a factor in this fight because of the excellent cut work by Ace Morata, one of a pack of good cut men that we have today in boxing. Ralph Citro, Eddie Aliano, names you hear over and over and over again every weekend because they are the best and they're called to work championship fights as it should be. It's a crime to lose a title because you don't have a good cut man, and it's happened so many times it's regrettable. Meanwhile, back here, Frankie's winging.
And those jabs by Coleman annoying Warren, and then he just let fly with that roundhouse right. Now Coleman is a southpaw, but obviously fighting conventional style tonight.
I don't understand that at all. If he's a southpaw, he's well disguised because I just can't understand that. If he's a southpaw, I don't see why he doesn't revert to it. He's certainly not doing wonderfully well this way.
And I asked Warren's people about that. They realized that Coleman is a southpaw, but they said going in they didn't care. Some fighters don't like to fight southpaws, but it's all academic anyway.
Well, when you've had as much experience as Frankie Warren, you've seen them all. I mean, that left-handed stuff is only important at the beginning of your career if you haven't had an amateur career and haven't faced those left-handers. Meanwhile, again, the chase is on.
A little surprise, Ferdy, that it has gone this long in terms of Coleman.
Quality of Frankie's aggression and the quality of the punches that land being so much harder, so much more effective is what's building up the points for Frankie Warren in my book.
Warren, who got off to a little bit of a slow start, but has come on strong here against Coleman.
Come on, don't hold.
And has really dominated this fight.
At the end of that last round, we saw the old Frankie Warren, that cutting wood where he just gets there and looks like he's sawing on a tree.
Warren, I would think, is a little frustrated. There was a good left by Warren because he hasn't put Coleman away. Perhaps he's sensing the end here.
Now he's punching like Frankie Warren. Those 3 headshots is Frankie Warren. That's the way it used to be.
Well, he's going for the knockout right here. Less than 30 seconds, round 10. And Coleman able to slither away. Warren goes to the bar.
But even as he tries to slither away, Frankie slides with him. Looks like the top of his head is sewed to the chest of the other guy because he slides with him. Both men looking very weary right now. Even Frankie's looking very tired right now. I think he's hit him his best shot, and nothing has happened to Clarence.
And that is it for round 10. The cut has held up well for Warren as Coleman again waits for the stool. Excellent crowd on hand. It looks like a sellout. They seat about 5,000 at this beautiful outdoor facility over the tennis courts at Caesars Tahoe. And coming up next here on Showtime, the main event, Evander Real Deal Holyfield in his heavyweight debut against veteran James Quick Tillis, the man who gave Mike Tyson his toughest fight.
Get too close, drop down, and start punching up. Okay?
Remember that jab we were talking about? It was followed up by the right by Warren. It's a pestering jab that's got Warren annoyed. And a little bit later in the round, when Warren swarmed. Round 11, scheduled for 12, the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship fight. Frankie Warren in the gold trunks, Clarence Coleman in the black. I'm sure a lot of folks surprised that the fight is still going. Coleman again with a surge of energy.
He starts out each round very well. He's just incapable of doing it for 3 minutes, and doesn't do you any good to win the first minute if you lose the last 2 minutes around. Look at that. Very, very nice on the part of Clarence Coleman.
Coleman with some solid uppercuts to the body of Warren. He continues to frustrate Warren, who can't put him away.
Watch your heads in there.
Towers over Warren.
Let him go.
Norm Button, the third man of the ring. Now both fighters very tired, hanging on.
The corner screaming for Frankie to punch, and he's not punching as he has been up to this point. It looks like he's finally taking a round off. Certainly Clarence jumped off to an early lead in this round.
Right above us, Warren has Coleman against the ropes, trying to drive punches to the body, but Coleman looking very spry. And the crowd getting behind Coleman, the underdog. And Coleman letting loose and opening up.
Toe-to-toe. He's taking his chance. He's playing his cards. Gotta give him credit.
A totally different Clarence Coleman. What has he got to lose? He's going for everything here in the next to the last round. And the crowd urging him on.
Don't hold. Work out.
A good round for Clarence Coleman. Began well, carried the middle, and he's willing to go toe-to-toe. Gutsy performance by Clarence Coleman.
He told me before the fight he didn't intend to match Warren punch for punch, but right now he has no recourse. He is desperate.
I think his corner understands that he's far enough behind that he cannot win on a decision, which is, of course, not always true in this crazy world of boxing.
Yes, we have seen some strange judgments. Coming up to 20 seconds left, round 3, round 11.
Of Frankie Warren. He's been carrying this fight. He's been taking an awful lot of low blows, and this round he's been taking a pummeling as Clarence has decided to lay it all out.
And that'll do it for the 11th round. And by far the best round by classy Clarence Coleman. We'll take a look back at the flurry dished out by classy Clarence.
Thank you.
This was by far his shining moment in this fight. So some action from round 11
And the scoring is 107-102.
as we get ready for the 12th and final round.
There's a 9-10 round.
And Vaseline all over the face of Frankie Warren. I would suspect, Ferdy, that Coleman will come out like a madman here.
As well he should. He almost looked like he had Frankie on the way out. He was gutsy enough to lay it out. That combined with the exhaustion on the face of Frank Warren, and the fight could have gone his way.
All right, they touched gloves, and the 12th and final round for the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. How do you see it as far as the score?
I have Warren ahead 107-102. The last round I gave, it's the first round I gave to Clarence since the second round, and there have been some close ones, but I felt that Frankie won them on aggression. But that was definitely Clarence round, and he almost hooked Frankie Warren.
Obviously, on your unofficial scorecard, as Warren tagged Coleman, on your card, Coleman would need a knockout.
My card is unofficially, and I do believe he needs a knockout to win. Does classy Clarence Coleman. Oh, another right hand, right to the side of the head of Coleman.
A solid right by Warren. And Warren, obviously sensing what we're talking about, trying to finish Coleman off as you check out Lou Duva in the corner. And Lou will be back in action momentarily with Evander Holyfield.
They may be worried in Duva's corner because Frankie did not look good that last round, thinking this close to victory, it would be awful for his comeback to lose here. After all, the rubber match, he won one with McGirt. McGirt won one. Mightily did he win one. Both were decisive, and now they should fight the rubber match and see who really is the one.
Warren said he'd like one more warm-up, then another title shot, of course, preferably against McGirt.
You better pick an easier warm-up than this.
I'm telling you. I think he didn't know what he was getting into here against classy Clarence Coleman. He has put up a good fight.
All credit to him for taking everything that Frankie had to throw, summoning up all his energy and guts, and taking that last round and not doing badly in this round.
He took that 11th round pretty decisively. And now, once again, both fighters, more so Coleman, exhausted and just hanging. Less than 30 seconds left in the 12th and final round. A right by Warren that nailed Coleman in the face. Final seconds, final round. And Coleman just doesn't have anything left. And that'll do it. The fight is over. They go the distance. And the crowd shows its appreciation. Classy Clarence Coleman putting up a nice show against Frankie Panchito Warren, the defending champion. Warren looking to retain his title for the second time. Ace Murata with his arm around Warren. There's Lou Duva. And Warren pretty much dictating the pace of the fight throughout.
I think few people here, and certainly in the boxing establishment, felt that this was going to go to a decision. Few people felt that Clarence would be here fighting as hard as he did in the 11th and 12th round. All credit to him. He certainly gave a gutty performance. Whether he won or not, certainly didn't in my card, but we have yet to hear from the judges. It could be much closer than that. There were several rounds that were close that I thought Frankie won because of aggression.
So Frankie Warren out of Corpus Christi, Texas, has only one defeat in 26 professional fights. That lone defeat to Buddy McGirt. He'd like to tack this one up and then go to one more perhaps and get Buddy McGirt again. We're waiting for the official decision in the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the scoring of the judges. All three judges, Doug Tucker, John McSweeney, and Keith McDonald, score the fight 116-112 for the winner and still USBA Junior Welterweight Champion, Frankie Panchito Warren.
Unanimous decision for Frankie Panchito Warren, who lifts his record to 26-1, 17 knockouts, and Coleman slips to 13-2-1 with 3 knockouts. Nice round of applause for Clarence Coleman. He deserves it. Frankie Warren with Wally Matthews. Wally?
Frankie, a tough opponent for your first one off a loss and off a short layoff. Was he a little bit tougher than you expected?
Well, I want to say, first of all, I want to thank God for seeing me through this fight here. And I thank him for every fight I go through, because every fight is not, I know every fight I fight is not easy. Every opponent I take serious, because, you know, ain't no fighter easy, man. There's no such thing as an easy fight.
He seemed to be more pesky than powerful. Is that the way you found him? Was it obvious early that he couldn't hurt you?
At first, you know, well, like I say, I fought many of classic boxers like him. You know, it wasn't no doubt in my mind, you know, in the first round that he's class. I know it couldn't hurt me or nothing, man.
Frankie, thank you, congratulations. And we're here with Clarence Coleman. Clarence, it was a gutsy effort that you put up there. You seemed to run out of steam, though, after about 4 or 5 rounds. Was it the body punching?
No, it was the air up here. I mean, you ain't used to it yet, but it'd be like that.
Yeah. We hear you're normally a southpaw. Why didn't you throw more right hands?
Oh, stop. Not a southpaw. I don't know. I hurt my right hand in the gym, but ain't no excuse. I was throwing it, but just couldn't land it. No excuse.
Okay, thanks very much, Clarence. A gutsy effort tonight, and now back to Steve at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Wally. Don't forget.